I want to begin with a simple question. Have you ever shared a thought, maybe a deeper idea, and suddenly the room went quiet? People shifted in their seats, maybe forced a smile, maybe quickly changed the subject. In that moment, you weren't being rude. You weren't being wrong. You were simply thinking differently. That feeling of being out of place because of your thoughts has followed deep thinkers throughout history. And it raises an important question. Why does society so often resist people who think deeply? Why do we silence the very voices that could move us forward? Let's look at history. Socrates, the father of philosophy, was killed for asking questions and teaching people to think for themselves. Galileo, who proved the earth goes around the sun, was forced to take back his words to avoid punishment from the church. Nikola Tesla dreamed of free energy for all, but his ideas were too threatening to powerful interests, and he died alone and poor. Alan Turing, who helped end World War II with his code breaking, was persecuted for his sexuality and driven to tragedy. It seems the brighter the mind, the harder the struggle. But why? The German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer once said, "Intelligence is a curse. The clearer you see the world, the more you realize how different you are from most people, and the more isolated you feel." One reason for this is what I call the mirror effect. When we meet someone with much greater intelligence, it acts like a mirror. Suddenly we see our own limits, and that can hurt. Unlike money or strength, intelligence touches our very identity. And when our identity is challenged, it feels like part of us is under attack. So people protect themselves. They laugh it off. They dismiss the thinker as too serious or too strange. Or they simply avoid the conversation. Not because the thinker is wrong, but because the truth feels uncomfortable. Science shows us this is not just in the mind, it's in the brain. When we feel intellectually threatened, the amygdala, the fear center, becomes active. Our body reacts as if we were in danger. Think about that. Someone sharing an idea can trigger the same reaction as seeing a wild animal. Why? Because for our ancestors, survival meant belonging to the tribe. If someone made us look foolish, our status dropped. And losing status could mean losing safety. Even today, being outsmarted can feel like a threat. This is also why society rewards confidence over intelligence. A person who speaks with certainty, even if they wrong, is often more convincing than someone careful and nuanced. History is full of loud, confident leaders who gained followers easily, while quiet, thoughtful people were ignored. On top of that, our mental shortcuts, biases, make it even harder. The Dunning-Kruger effect. People who know little often think they know a lot. Status quo bias. We prefer the familiar even when it's harmful. The backfire effect. Challenge someone's beliefs, and they may cling to them even harder. And then there is social media, our modern public square. In theory, a place where deep ideas could spread far and wide. But in truth, social media doesn't reward deep ideas. It rewards what is quick, simple, emotional. Outrage and entertainment go viral. Thoughtfulness rarely does. Imagine trying to explain Einstein's theory of relativity in a 15-second video. Complex truth simply doesn't stand a chance against funny cats and angry rants. Schopenhauer believed this is why intelligence feels heavy. The more you see, the harder it becomes to enjoy the little illusions that make life easier. Small talk feels boring. Routines feel empty. Lies and facades become obvious. You see through the show. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. That can lead to sadness, even despair. Many great thinkers, Pascal Kafka, struggled with depression. They saw too much, too clearly. But Schopenhauer also gave advice. First, embrace solitude, not as punishment, but as a gift. Time to read, to create, to reflect. Second, find your circle. If you can't find like-minded people nearby, find them in books, in history, in philosophy, or even online. And third, share your insights wisely. Not everyone is ready for deep conversation. Choose your moments carefully. The truth is, most people prefer comfort over truth. The brain craves simplicity. We rationalize bad systems because it feels easier to accept them than to change them. And in groups, we often stay quiet because going along with the crowd feels safer than standing out. That's why schools often reward memorization instead of questioning. Why workplaces prize fitting in over innovation. Why politicians who challenge popular beliefs rarely win. Comfort sells better than truth. And yet, history shows us where this leads. Again and again, society silenced or punished its greatest minds, only to celebrate them later. Socrates, Galileo, Nietzsche, Tesla, Turing, Hypatia. Their lives tell us the same story. Society fears intelligence while it is alive, but worships it once it is safe. So what can deep thinkers today do? Are they doomed to loneliness? Not at all, but they must be wise. Save your deepest ideas for people who are ready to hear them. Simplify complex truths so others can follow without feeling overwhelmed. Seek out those rare conversations that feed your mind instead of shutting it down. Schopenhauer once wrote, "Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see." That is the role of the deep thinker, to see what others cannot, to plant seeds that may not bloom until long after we are gone. Yes, it is hard. Society resists not because deep thinkers are wrong, but because they are unsettling. They show us truths we'd rather ignore. They call for change, and change is frightening. But without them, without you, progress stops. So if you've ever been told you think too much, if you've ever felt out of place because of your ideas, take heart. You are walking the same road as the thinkers who shaped our world. The world may resist you now, but one day, it may thank you.